Good morning, students. Let us see some more concepts. Angular momentum. All these videos are kept in the playlist of mechanics. All are kept in that order. You can go to the playlist of mechanics. There are 3-4 playlists are there. Mechanics is there, electricity is there, magnetism is there, magnetism is there. Like that, optics is there. So all these related videos are kept in those related folders. Now, in the last class, we discussed about perpendicular axis theorem. Now, we will move on to the next concept, angular momentum. See, you know that when a particle is going in a translatory motion, this particle has got some mass, it has got some velocity. So, this is your linear momentum. This is what? This is your linear momentum. This is your linear momentum. Now, suppose there is a particle which is going in a circular fashion. There is a particle which is going in a circular fashion. It will possess angular momentum. Okay? The particle has to move in a circular fashion means it must have an angular momentum. That angular momentum value can be a constant value. Okay? Now, this angular momentum is defined as a symbol L. Basically, angular momentum means moment of linear momentum. Okay, whenever you see this term moment of, you said moment of force. What did you do? Force multiplied by distance. Moment of linear momentum. Moment means what? You have to multiply with the distance. Which distance? Always perpendicular distance. So this linear momentum is defined as, you take this angular momentum is defined as, this L value is, you have to take the, wait, we will write it like this. You have to take the linear momentum and multiply with the distance. So here, this linear momentum, this angular momentum also is a vector. It is defined as r vector multiplied with p vector. R you should take first. Like the torque r cross f, you should take r cross p. P is a vector, r is a vector, L also is a vector. L vector can be given by your that right hand thumb rule. Okay. So direction part we are not going right now. So L vector is given by r vector multiplied by p vector. So basically r is a distance multiplied by the linear vector in simple terms. In simple terms, if you are writing, what is p? It is mb and mvr. Okay. In simple terms, this is written in the vector format. This is written in the simpler format. This is what? What is the unit? What is this? Kg meter per second. This is kg. Mass is kg, this is meter per second, and this is again meter. So what is the unit? It is kg meter square per second. If you want to write the dimensions, kg is mass, m. This meter square, it is L square divided by t, it is t power minus 1. This is the dimensional formula for the angular momentum. Okay? Now, so this is what it is. Now, if you see law of conservation of angular momentum. See, when a particle is rotating in a, let us say, circular fashion, a particle is rotating. I told you that there must be a torque acting on the system. Okay. Now, let us say on the system there is no external torque. Acha, prior to this, one more point I wanted to tell you which I forgot. Now, this is about particle. Suppose if there is a rigid body, like that sphere, like that cone and all these things, cylinder, all these things. What are those? They are rigid particles. They are rigid bodies. What is a rigid body? It is a system of particles. So this is for one particle. If you have a system of particles, how do you find the total L? Total L will be equal to L1 plus L2 plus so on up to Ln. Individually, you have to calculate the angular momentum of each particle. You add them, you get for the system. This is for the system. System means here rigid body. Rigid body is a system of particles. Okay. There the procedure would be calculate the individual angular momentum and add it, you get the total angular momentum. Okay, so this is one point. Now we were talking that if now can we get something from here? You see, L is equal to MVR. Okay, L is equal to MVR. I will do one thing. I will differentiate both sides. I will get dl by dt. M is a constant. V, let us say it is going with a constant speed. Can I write it as mv dr by dt? No, r is constant and v is changing. You see, here what is constant? Here r is constant and v can be changing. Okay, so we will write this as m into r into dv by dt. Can I write it like this? Suppose it is going in a fixed path, like in a circular fashion. Then you have this radius and mass fixed. At the maximum, the velocity may change. Okay, and the velocity will change. Look here, students. I want to tell you a very important point. Suppose there is a circular motion happening. If I say 2 meters per second, some particle is going. Okay, I will say that the velocity is changing. Then a student will come and say, sir, here it is 2 meters per second, here it is 2 meter, here it is 2 meters per second, here it is 2 meters per second. How you are saying that the velocity is changing? The velocity is changing not because of the magnitude, it is changing because of the direction. Remember, friends, students, velocity means always magnitude plus direction. Magnitude may be constant. Magnitude may be constant, but direction changing. Let us say, in this example, then velocity is said to be changing. Okay, this is a very important point. Please remember that. So here, it may be going with a constant speed, but the velocity is changing at every point. Okay, so you can write this as m into r. What is dv by dt? It is acceleration, isn't it? So dl by dt is mRA. Can I write it as MA into R? What is this? It is force multiplied by the distance. You have already seen this. This is torque. This is torque. So if you differentiate the angular momentum, what are you going to get? You are going to get the torque. Okay, this one point I forgot to tell. dl by dt, you are going to get the torque. Okay, so just make a note of this point. Then okay, let us take this case. L is equal to, okay, L1 plus L2. That means you are writing as sigma L is equal to, it is sigma, can we write this as mb into sigma r? Wait. So just make a note of this point. Okay. Now we have got L is equal to MVR. Let us see. What is V? How can you convert V into rotational format? We can write V as R omega. So this will become mR square omega because V is equal to R omega. Isn't it? Okay. So apply sigma both sides using this concept. So what are you going to get? If you apply sigma on the right hand side, you are going to get mR square multiplied by omega. This is the total L value. See, individually particles we are taking, we want to add all, then we will get the total angular momentum as per this concept. Okay. What is the sigma mR square? Sigma mR square is I, moment of inertia. So L is equal to I omega. This is another way of writing the expression. Okay. So one way of writing the expression is this. One way of writing the expression is this. Okay? Okay? Remember these two formats. Now, one expression you got is when you differentiate angular momentum with respect to time, you got torque. Let us differentiate here also. Let us see what happens. So dl by dt, I am differentiating both sides with respect to time. I cannot differentiate because I for a material is constant. Okay. So what is changing means, what can change means angular speed. So it will be I into d omega by dt. Okay. Why I did not take I? I am taking as a constant. For a spherical object, there is a constant I value. Spherical object is rotating. I value will not change. Now, don't get into that, I will shift the axis, then the I value will change. We are not talking about axis shifting and all that. We are saying that there is some sphere. Let us say the sphere is like this. Okay, there is a sphere. This is the CG axis. Now, it is made to rotate with omega. What you can change? You can change the angular speed, but the I value will remain constant only. It will be 2 by 5 into mr square only. As long as you are talking about this axis, it will not change. Whether you rotate with more speed, whether you rotate with less speed, the I value will remain change. I am trying to explain each and every step so that it should be very, very crystal clear. Okay. So in this expression, I have taken I constant because I cannot change, omega can change. So dl by dt is torque. Already you have got this expression. So what is this d omega by dt? See, you think about linear. dv by dt is linear acceleration. D omega by dt will be angular acceleration. So torque is equal to, we got another very important expression, I alpha. Torque is equal to another very important expression, I alpha. So how many expressions you have to remember? You have to remember this, you have to remember this, this and this. These are very useful. Okay? So make a note of all these points and take a screenshot and make a note of all these points. They are very important. Just a minute. Now, law of conservation of angular momentum. Law of conservation of angular momentum. See, whenever you see these terms, conservation of something, one thing should come into your mind is something is constant. What is that constant? Law of conservation of energy. Energy is constant. You take two objects, you take two different positions. We have discussed these points. That the total energy will be conserved. That means TE1 is equal to TE2. If you see my previous lectures, there we have defined that the total energy at two different points will be equal. So here, law of conservation of angular momentum. He says that conservation of angular momentum should be conserved. अपनी भाषा में समझते हैं. Angular momentum should be conserved. Angular momentum should be constant. When there is no external torque acting. When no external torque acting मतलब सिनेमा में एक्टिंग करना, वो वाला एक्टिंग नहीं. Acting means making the system to function. Okay, when no external torque is acting, L is equal to constant. What is the condition? That no external torque should be acting on the system. Remember, law of conservation of momentum we have discussed. Law of conservation of linear momentum. When no external force is acting on the system. When no external force is acting on the system. Here, no external torque is acting on the system. Then L is equal to constant. What is the direct meaning of this? I omega will be constant. Suppose any question comes, you can use the condition I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. वहाँ हम लोग क्या यूज करते थे? We used to use M1 V1 is equal to M2 V2. Here what we will use? We will use I1 omega 1 is equal to I2 omega 2. There is one more meaning of this. Just see this equation. Omega 1, how you can write? I1 into 2 pi N1 is equal to I2 into 2 pi n2. Can I write? So cancelling out 2 pi 2 pi, it also means I1 n1 is equal to I2 n2. What is this n1 n2? It is the frequency, rotations per minute. Rotations per minute. Okay. So one way of what is this omega? It is angular speed. This omega is angular speed. Angular speed. You measure this in radians per second. कोई ऑब्जेक्ट सर्कल में घूम रहा है, what is the angle which is changing with respect to time? This is this. What is this n1? It is measured in rotations per minute. Rotations per second. Frequency it is frequency. So you can write in this way also, you can write in this way also. So when are you going to write this? Then there is no external torque acting on the system. If some external torque is acting on the system, can you apply this? You cannot apply this. Okay. So this is one more very important concept you have to make a note of. Alright. So just take a screenshot and write. Now let us see one question on the concept what we have learned right now. The question says there is a ballet dancer, okay, who is spinning about a vertical axis at 60 rpm, frequency is given, with arms outstretched. When her arms folded, the angular frequency increases to 90 rpm. Find the change in moment of inertia, not momentum of inertia. Moment of inertia. The situation is like this. There is a ballet dancer. I am not an artist. Please don't mind my very silly drawings. Okay. You have seen this ice skating competitions. You will see that they will be doing ice skating and they will be going around and then they will stand somewhere and they will bring their arms near. What will happen? Their angular speed increases. Go and watch some ice skating competitions. So they will be rotating very fast when they are trying to bring kind of closing their body. Okay. So this is one situation. Let us say here the moment of inertia is I and angular speed is given as 60 rpm. Okay. In the another situation, the same person is like this. But arms are brought closer. Like this, she is rotating and then she got the arms very close. What happened? The angular speed got increased. Let us say some I dash into 90 rpm is there. Now tell me, is there any external torque acting on the system? There is no external torque acting on the system. So what can we say? L is conserved. So we can write I1 N1 is equal to I2 N2 direct. Isn't it? There is no external torque acting on it. Is it mentioned anywhere? The torque of the system is changing. So what is I1? It is I. What is N1? It is 60. What is I2? It is I dash. What is frequency? 90. So from here you are getting I into 60 by 90, it is 2 by 3. That means the original I became 2I by 3. Isn't it? So in the question what is asking? Find the change in the momentum. So the change will be the final minus initial, or here it is reducing. So what is happening? I minus 2I by 3. So the change is I by 3. The change is I divided by 3. Okay? That I reduced by I by 3 and become 2I by 3. What happened actually? You can also make a conclusion here. When the frequency is increasing, I value is decreasing. Isn't it? When I omega is constant or In is constant, when you are increasing, you are shooting up N, I has to drop down. So we will see some more numericals in the next class. But this is how you can apply the law of conservation of momentum. It's a simple example I have shown you. So see you next class then. Okay? Till then, take care. Bye bye.